Alright, I'm gonna say it once again, the Nintendo Switch, it's a pretty awesome console. I know, it's a major hot take. Try and stop me from saying such hot takes. You won't. Last year, I did something that realistically no sane person should do. I ventured onto the Switch's eShop and started scrolling down the seemingly endless list of games you could find in the quote, great deals section, and oh man. The year may be different, but the mentality remains the same. I love exploring the Switch's eShop, truly I do. Mostly because of the amount of fantastic indie games and hidden gems, it's kinda ridiculous. Baba Is You, Death's Door, Unsighted. It is realistically possible to spend hours upon hours going over how many awesome indie games are on the scene nowadays. But nah, let me spend $10 on Calculator instead. Oh, why am I like this? There's a certain level of garbage gaming that I can't help but be attracted to, you know? It's like a car crash that you can't avert your eyes from, except said car crash is playable, but not in a fun way like Burnout. Listen, all I'm saying is, over the last year, I've had like a dozen of my friends play Pooplers with me. I'm just saying, I'm that weird guy at parties. So, I am back at it with my shenanigans once again. I got a little over $100 to play with on my account now, and I'm gonna try to dig deep, very, very deep into the trenches to find those games that really make you sit back and ask yourself, why? Why did Nintendo allow this on their store? Why did the game developers think the work that they did was acceptable? Why is the Calculator app being sold for $10? As someone who actually bought the thing, don't be like me, alright? Don't be like AntDude, showing up to your classroom with a Switch to cheat on your math test. Get the hell out of here. So, for the list of games today, I am sticking to basically the same rules as last time. Console exclusivity is so fluid nowadays, but the aim is to remain mostly Switch exclusive, as well as games without proper physical releases. We're staying eShop exclusive as well. A lot of these games also go on random sales all the time, so while I did spend close to $100 for this video, the actual value of the games when you're watching this could be different on any given day, so I could have waited for a Calculator to drop back down to $2 like it has before, but I bought it for the full price instead, so let me deal with my grieving process. And while conducting said research, I had to do a lot of it online. I could do it on the eShop itself, but it goes a lot slower when you're going on the eShop for a long time, so this is what's best. I was told I need to check out a game called Membrane. Never heard of that one before, so I have the Nintendo site up and ready to go. I'm gonna type in Membrane and let's see what that's all about. $250! Bro, what the f- What is happening here? I guess, you know, I guess this is technically legal, but why though? Genius strategy, let's be real. Everyone's out here typically dropping their prices for eShop deals. These guys did the opposite. That's a bold move. Used to be $10, sometimes $1 or $2, and then a random spike all the way to $250. Oh my god. Yeah, man, I really hope that reverse sale is working out for you. I'm not buying this. Even for a video, not happening. Maybe next year, when I really lose my mind, go even higher at that point and charge $500 for it. Do it. You won't. Why not? Advice for the developers. Drop the $10 for the Calculator app. That way you can calculate your profits. It'll work out for you, trust me. Although, speaking of Calculator, I gotta be honest here. For an extra $5, you also have Battle Calculator you can check out, which offers some decent competition. You get some customization options in this one as well. That's kinda cool, but as the title indicates, we have multiplayer. Oh yeah, I am ready for a math off. The goal is straightforward. Using only single digits and all of the buttons available to you, see who can reach the solution first. That's it. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I think you're better off playing Donkey Kong Jr. Math. And I am the first person to ever say that sentence. Circling back once again to the original Calculator though, those who watched the first eShop video already know who's responsible for this. Savik. The same Savik that also brought us Piano and Tennis Go from that first episode? Yeah, the same Savik that also released a guitar app for the Switch where an eShop screenshot is an unedited Windows screenshot? Absolutely, the same guys. This time last year, Savik was responsible for 34... well, I really don't want to say games, but 34 pieces of software listed on the eShop. And this year, 46. Oh boy, that's an impressive output. Well, scrolling down this list, night vision certainly stuck out to me from afar. You know how like the right Joy-Con has an IR sensor that was like never used after 1-2 switch? Well, for $10 whole, you can be reminded of that technology's existence. This is the face of someone who knows how to spend money right here. But as some of you may know, Savik was recently in the limelight for one specific game. Oh god. Popeye's back, I guess. This was easily one of the most random headlines to grace gaming news in the last 10 years or so. Not the fact that Popeye is suddenly getting a new game out of nowhere by a shovelware developer, that kind of makes sense, but actually, this is technically a remake. Popeye originally released on the NES and in arcades in 1982, and you know what? It was pretty decent actually. Simple little single screen game, very of the time, you know. The big kicker though, it was made by Nintendo. So in basically any other instance you could possibly imagine, a remake of an old Nintendo arcade game is something worth celebrating. But in the actual timeline that we got, oh man, this is gross. Alright, so the premise for this one, olive oil is throwing stuff down at you that slowly falls to the sky. Go and touch them. That's the whole game. To be fair, that is what the original game was like too. Clearly gaming peaked at that moment. Ooh, but you gotta watch out for the bad guys wanting to really ruin your day. Go and grab your nearest spinach can. Deal with this power-up animation that you can't skip. Run up to the evildoers. You really didn't feel like balancing your audio that day, I take it. I may not be too caught up on the Popeye lore, but is a vulture looking to kill our protagonist a thing in the comics? Not familiar with that one. There's a witch in here too. I have no idea. I thought it was just this big guy, but apparently there's a witch and an evil floating skull. Okay. Looking back at that original NES game, it does look like that skull and witch and vulture, they are there. I'm just saying, the Popeye lore is very strange. Ooh, and you can't forget about the vulture's voice. That's just a guy. My favorite part of the game is when you knock out Bluto, or Brutus as this game calls him for some reason. Like I said, not caught up. He returns after a short while with a cutscene that is also unskippable. That part's great. Also, sometimes he just kind of like shows up in front of you despite being behind you only a couple seconds ago. He has teleportation powers apparently. The lore really got deep after I fell off. God, this is disgusting. It just goes on forever too. It never ends, and I played it for far too long, which was like 20 minutes. That was 25 minutes too long. I am not one to disparage indie developers for wanting to achieve their dreams. There are so many indie games available on the Switch and every other console out there that I think are worth supporting 100%. I am all about that. But that being said, Savik? Stop. I don't know if you thought getting the Popeye license somehow was gonna be the thing to make you seem a whole lot more credible in the eyes of the everyday gamer. It didn't, and if you want to know the industry-wide secret to get that job done, just start making good games. I had heard that this Popeye game is also a bit of an asset flip, and while I can neither confirm or deny it at this current point, it really wouldn't surprise me seeing the quality of that game. But, speaking of asset flips, some of you may remember in my original eShop escapade, I briefly mentioned the game The Bullet: Time of Revenge, an obvious asset flip. Essentially, for those who don't know, the Unity engine gives you a bunch of pre-made assets, and rather than actually do something creative with them and learn how game development works, you know, you can just flip it and use the same assets with no changes, charge money for an already created game. And yeah, it's gross. Well, check this out. Hammer 2 Reloaded. This is a totally different game, I promise you. Oh wait, no, I take it back. This one somehow runs worse. Really need that Switch Pro to drop sometime soon so we can get a smooth 60 FPS on this one. Dude, the publisher didn't even change the keyboard notifications to switch buttons. That's like the bare minimum there, come on! Oh, well, what about this one? Max 2 Reloaded. At least we got a new guy now. So this one, to be fair, does come with a hot new feature. You see, to pause the game, you would normally have to press the plus button, but here, you press the X button. That's pretty new and original, I'll give him credit. But then, what happens when you press plus, you might ask? It deactivates the controller. I am gonna lose it. The fact that there are three, at least three, there could be more, of these games on the eShop and Nintendo has not taken them down yet, let alone allowed them up in the first place, is honestly disgusting. Like, no joke, it's gross. Like I said before, I want nothing more than indie developers to get their time in the spotlight and get paid for their work. But this is not one of those times. I may have bought these with actual money for video purposes, but obviously, I advise you to not do the same. Sometimes you really just stumble upon the weirdest things on the eShop that catch your eye in the strangest ways. Like, here's a game, Guts and Goals. You take a look at the screenshots and you know it looks like a kinda decent sports-styled game, I get it. But then the primary artwork is just traced over the new Alex Kidd remake? Why? Here we have .Cat Milk. Actually bought this one, despite having a really weird name. In actuality, it is not that terrible of a single screen puzzle platformer. I mean, it won't blow you away, but there was actually some effort put into this one. I respect it. You didn't choose the most photogenic cat in the world as the game's cover photo, I'll admit, but I mean, it got me to click on the page in the first place, so mission accomplished, I suppose. Ham Puzz. You know what? This one's actually alright. Another little puzzle game that incorporates platforming with a match 3 puzzler. That's a really unique idea, and it actually kept me pretty invested. I just can't help myself with the name Ham Puzz, because that name sounds like it could get me demonetized real quick, and I hope it doesn't. Next up, okay, well, take a look at this one. It looks like one of those really basic motorcycle physics flash games, right? We've all played these in school when we weren't supposed to. I get it. This one in particular is pretty rough around the edges, but you know exactly where you're getting with something like this. Oh, the name. Doy. Of course you want the name of the game. How could I be so stupid to forget about the name? Yeah, sure, no problem. This game is called Mountain Bike Hill Climb Race Real Physics Fun 2D Arcade Speed Drive Dirt Racing Games. Yes, I'm 100% serious. I mean, it's not as eloquent as something like Excite Bike, but it still gets the job done, you know? Usually, I do like to shorten the name of the game, though. I like to go by MBHCRRPF2ASDDRG for short whenever I'm hanging out with buddies. Can't believe I had that memorized. Cow Catcher. You'll never guess what this one's about. Unbelievable, you did it! You bought this game. You pressed the buy button. Seriously. Yeah, that's a good sign. Oh. Oh my. Alright, so, pick your favorite cow, wait for the rope to figure out what it's doing, then deposit said cow in the corral, get a bunch of them in there, and then you achieve your goal. There's even some extra hidden goodies spread throughout the lands as well. Ooh, collect-a-thon. Gotta love the draw distance too. Should've had some of that staple N64 fog to go along with it, you know? Is Cow Catcher garbage? Yes. But that good kind of garbage, you know? At this point, this is gonna be one of those games that I pull up from time to time just to show some of my friends, hey, look at these rope physics. What in God's name is this? But yeah, no matter what level you choose, the goal remains the same: catch a bunch of cows. What piques my curiosity though is the currency you're collecting along the way. There's actually a shop within the main menu that you can go in and buy some extras. There are some wingsuits and accessories for the catcher, and that's all fine and good, but there's also a whole lineup of surprises. You never know what you're gonna get, I guess, right? You buy this weird looking cat, you take a stroll through the office, and yeah, there it is. I bought a bunch of them and they all activated immediately, but this skull one, for some reason, it didn't. It stayed off, which is kind of weird. Let me go ahead and activate that real quick. In reality, most of the time, the games that you find at the bottom of the barrel here, they really speak for themselves. Wrestling Empire. Oh man. Alright, listen here. Alright, I'm as big of a fan of WCW, NWO Revenge, and WWF No Mercy on the N64 as everyone else is, and clearly there is a market for a wrestling game that harkens back to those classic titles, but I don't really think this is the one to do it though. If you are unfamiliar with the rules and you're wondering if it's legal to absolutely bludgeon your opponents to a bloody pulp with objects outside the ring, despite it being illegal inside the ring, well, it shouldn't be, but hey, it's here, so exciting times all around. You never know what's gonna happen in the world of wrestling. Hey, everyone knows that decision was bogus. How are you not dead? Strike Daz cans. Now, right off the bat, some advice for you Switch gamers out there. Make sure the game you're interested in actually works in docked mode before clicking the purchase button. Boy, did I ever have egg on my face. Can't get past the title screen otherwise unless you're in handheld mode. Well, boy, do I ever look foolish. And I hate looking foolish on the internet. I say as someone who just played Cowcatcher on the Nintendo Switch. You see them cans? Strike them. That's the game. And somehow, doesn't control all that great either. It's the one thing they had to do and they couldn't get it done. The Dear God. Well, you know, it's clever wordplay based on the phrase that you would say to represent anger, so that should lead to good things. The story begins with a hunter ready to shoot down his first deer. But then a wolf kills him. Shame. And then a deer god turns the hunter into a deer so he can live the life of the animal he tried to kill. This was a whole lot to digest in like 60 seconds. So then it's just like a really basic platformer where I guess things are trying to kill you and you're able to kill things back. I thought there was a moral message here about don't hunt animals, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Ooh, I found myself upon some mystic ruins as well. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know, I couldn't really play much of this one. I made it as far as the Snowland, where I met my grim fate. But then the god resurrected me again, but this time as like I don't know, a snow mongoose or something, and then I got soft locked into this pit and couldn't jump out of it. Oh, dear God. But folks, we have an important one next. Now, I think it goes without saying, but most of these games here wouldn't be award-winning in any of the genres that they're in. However, this following title is a bit of an exception. Introducing the worst Metacritic score of the year 2020, Tiny Racer. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, let's be fair here. The worst video game of 2020? That's pretty harsh, let's be honest. Still a bad racer though. I mean, this whole Micro Machines idea has been around for a very long time. Making your car small in realistic environments is nothing special anymore. But trying to make decent level design should be. There's just a bunch of building block assets slapped on top of each other, and that constitutes a racetrack apparently. Like, not even the computer racers have any idea what they're doing here. How am I supposed to know what to do? Once again, nothing but respect for indie devs out there, but how does someone look at this and think it's ready to go and worth actual money? Also, yeah, there's no music. Got absolutely nothing to get the blood pumping here for a fast-paced racing adventure. Mostly just have my blood boiling with how simple it clearly is to get something up on the Switch's eShop. So realistically, this game probably won the worst Metacritic score of 2020 because critics aren't going to talk about a lot of the other stuff that the Switch just somehow manages to release on a daily and weekly basis. As of this current point, when this video goes out, Popeye is unreviewed by the critics. Bunch of cowards you are. But you knew I had to save the worst for last, didn't you? Why yes, graphic design is my passion. How could you tell? This is Elva, the Eco Dragon, out here to teach kids around the world the power of protecting the environment. I am all for that idea. Great stuff. We gotta get the kids to learn about that. But in execution though, I don't really think this is the right way to do it. So your goal as an Eco Dragon is to pick up trash randomly thrown about the level. That's the whole game. Some of the trash mysteriously floats up into the sky when you collect it, some of which requires you to bring it to the trash. Oh, but which trash can, might you ask? Just try all three of them and hope that one of them takes it. It's annoying, and you can't pick up any other trash until the animation at the existing trash can stops because, man, you really want to pick up trash, but not too much trash, you know? And you just keep doing that until the game says you're done. Oh my god, what on earth is this abomination? You probably noticed by now there's this little girl character on screen at all times. Yeah, I'm not sure why either. Man, what is this user interface? This can't be real, this is a fever dream. For being a game all about the environment, there is certainly a whole lot of litter cluttering the screen. Am I right? Let me just go ahead and plant some of these trees in the concrete real quick. Perfect. Dude, I keep getting the same power up every single time I get another piece of trash. What's going on? I have no idea how to activate these power-ups. I pressed every button and I'm surprised the game hasn't crashed yet. Elva the Eco Dragon certainly has nothing on Spyro, I will tell you that much right now. When it comes to the dragon one-on-one face-off, yeah, I think Spyro's gonna win that one. And he flames sheep. Oh. Looks like I found the alleyway to the underworld. Good. Well, I kept on playing the game until I unlocked the random crazy mode. I noticed that was locked from the start, had to see what that was all about. With a name like that, I couldn't help my morbid curiosity. Oh, okay, we're in. That was weird. I saw like another level for a second. Okay, it's frozen again. Okay, another level. I'm not editing this. Okay, I'm not editing this footage. This is actually happening. Oh, it's just loading levels constantly. This doesn't seem. Oh, all right. You know what? Maybe benefit of the doubt. Maybe that was just a bad run. Let me try again. Oh man, no, it did it again. It loaded up. It's just okay. The whole random crazy thing means it's just gonna keep loading levels. I'm actually able to play the game now. That's so... What? Just sometimes the game will run and sometimes it'll... Okay, yep, like that. It, Oh, I thought it was frozen. No, it's still... Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, it's just doing this! I can't control it! Oh, it didn't crash, but... It's frozen now! Random crazy mode. I guess the mode didn't lie. What a load of bullshit.